This ended up being one of the worst track days I have had in a very long time. You see, I feel like I've been really lucky with my turbocharged Mazda MX-5. It's pumping out near double the power of what it had when it originally left Japan. Through a whole lot of standard driveline components. It just takes it on the chin day after day. Normally, cars like this at a track day, they rarely get more than a couple of laps before, the inevitable happens. Something goes wrong, something breaks, something falls apart, or something goes pop. But this Mazda's been pretty dang reliable. Well, not this time. If you saw my last video from my previous track day at Phillip Island, I mentioned how the splitter had been grinding away on the tarmac when driving through both the final corner and turn 1. Doing so had finally taken its toll on the splitter, which is probably over 5 years old now, to be fair. It had been made with 12mm thick plywood, and it was looking more like a knife's edge now. It had been shaved away by all those years of driving around tracks. On top of that, the mounts had suffered a fair few hits over curbs. And well, after that Phillip Island event, the splitter was well and truly due for a replacement. I set about building a new splitter and new mounts. I got it all buttoned up and I brought it out to Broadford Raceway, which is where we're at today. This is the first session of the morning and I'm just getting my feel in for things. Through the first corner, the car feels okay, but I'm clearly still trying to remember how to even use a manual gear shifter. Now, I'm on track with some more standard spec cars, so I've got to be mindful of how I drive around others here. And this is a short circuit, barely a little bit over a minute per lap. You can see how much traffic I'm driving alongside today, and the speed delta is pretty significant, so it's definitely not ideal for clean laps. In general, I try to be respectful and polite with my overtaking, and I hope that others will kind of see me coming and give me a bit of room. And generally, everyone is pretty awesome here. They're all giving me plenty of space, and I'm giving them as much as I can as well. We're trying to be respectful and not kind of get in each other's way, and I don't want to impede other people's lap times, and hopefully they don't want to impede mine. But nonetheless, there is a pretty big speed difference, and that just makes it hard for everyone. For me to try and be kind with the way I overtake others, and also for them because they feel potentially pressured into making space for a car that's faster. At the end of the day, neither of us is more important than the other. I don't deserve to have the road any more than any other car does, so I'm not expecting them to just get out of my way, and sometimes they don't see you coming. And so I need to be ready to make sure that I know they can see me, or I need to hold back and find the right time to make a pass. Now these cars in front, they're just here doing what I'm doing, driving around for fun. There's no point in trying to cause an issue or push my way past. I know that I generally have the straight line speed advantage and the cornering speed advantage. But typically, it's hard to get around people around corners because you don't know where they're going to position their car. Whereas on a straight, generally you can be pretty safe. I'm on to my third flying lap now, and we just set a 1 minute 4.2, which is okay for a morning lap time. But hey, let's be fair, we've had a lot of other cars to try and drive around, and this is the first session of the day. You may notice I've got a different dash cluster in the car today. It's a next-gen EFI dash that I'm testing out, and so far it's got its quirks and flaws, but it's pretty impressive for a mostly plug-and-play device. I will have a dedicated video to this dashboard coming in the near future. I want to showcase a bit about what it looks like and how it compares to my DIY built dash. They're quite different solutions to the same problem, and with very different price ranges. I manage a pair of 1 minute 4 second laps, so that's not too bad for a morning warm-up. Sadly though, that's where the good news ends. At the end of the straight, on lap 5 here, for just a moment you can hear the front splitter flapping. Signs of things to come. As I head around turn 1, I don't initially notice the issue, but then as we start to get up to speed, there goes the splitter. Thankfully the splitter body itself is mostly okay. But the mounts themselves, they've lost their way. I'd used a technique that I hadn't done before with the previous splitter, where I had crimped steel cables attaching the splitter. Unfortunately, the crimps had put fatigue points in the cable and they'd snapped, which meant the front of the splitter was touching the tarmac. For the first time in a very long time, this ended my day very early, and I got only 2 meaningful laps in. I didn't even have enough tools or spare parts to repair this at the track, so I was going home. The good news? It was nothing completely catastrophic. It's not like I blew an engine or a gearbox. At least, not this time.